Good evening and welcome to another session of the Flipped Classroom. Tonight's session will concern Compromise of 1850. These will be C notes, so please turn to the page in your spiral indicated to you by your teacher and set up this page for C notes. You may stop the recording in order to have time to accomplish that task. All right, let's start our lesson on the Compromise of 1850. Our learning target tonight is to identify the terms of the Compromise of 1850. What were the terms of the Compromise of 1850? Now, during the time between 1850 and 1845 and 1850, the United States was experiencing several problems at the same time. Texas had just been annexed as a slave state, and the Mexican-American War was over. However, now California wanted to join the United States as a free state. Remember, California had gold. Of course, this pleased the northern states because the abolitionists wanted more free states. However, the southern states were not happy. They did not want California to enter the United States as a free state. There had to be a compromise. At the same time, in Texas wanted its boundary to follow the Rio Grande River from the headwaters in the Rockies all the way south to the mouth of the river, which emptied into the Gulf, and include Santa Fe, which was a large center of trade. You can see how this would be beneficial for Texas. Now, the northern states really didn't want Texas that big. There had to be a compromise. Another problem going on at the same time was the problem dealing with runaway slaves. Now, Harriet Beecher Stowe had written a book called Uncle Tom's Cabin. This book revealed many of the atrocities and bad conditions of slavery. This is where Harriet Tubman comes in and helps many slaves run away through the Underground Railroad to the north. So the southern states wanted some kind of law that made all Americans return slaves, no matter where they were found. This law would become known as the Fugitive Slave Law. Now, the northern states did not want this. They wanted slavery to end. They wanted these slaves to be free. So there had to be some kind of compromise. What will happen? The solution comes in Congress over a period of 7 months. The United States delegates debate back and forth for 7 months. What will happen to solve these problems? Henry Clay is one of the most important debaters of the time. Eventually, the U.S. leaders decide that everybody gets some of what they wanted, and therefore the Compromise of 1850 was created. California did come in as a free state. Now it's part of the United States. New Mexico and Utah become territories and later will become states. Slave trade is ended. Slave trade is ended, but slavery is not in Washington, D.C. And the Fugitive Slave Law was passed. Texas had to give up some of its territory, which included Santa Fe, but it got $10 million in return. It's at this point that Texas now becomes the shape we know it today. In summary, please write about 3 problems the United States experienced at this time. In the margins, write 2 questions about your notes or that you still may have concerning the problems the United States experienced during this time. Finally, use your learning video notes use your home learning video notes and the bubble map you got in class to write down the 5 terms of the Compromise of 1850. Be ready to discuss these terms and whether everybody can be made happy. Thank you for listening, and see you in class tomorrow.